Okay, so today there are two things that we are doing. One, we're wild camping. So we need to head up onto the North Downs, find a suitable, safe, secure, decent place to get a wild camp on tonight. But the next thing I want to do is, before I set up camp, is head over to the lost village of Dode. Not a lot of people will have heard about it, but we're going to go for a little hike, head on over to the lost village of Dode, have a little look at that, and then get our wild camp on this evening. Also, new bag. Managed to pick up the North Face Terror 55. Someone was getting rid of it on Facebook for £20. And it is the lightest bag I've ever taken out with me, because the only bag I've ever taken out with me usually is the long back British military Bergen, which is insanely heavy when I get that loaded up. Sometimes I've been out with as much as 30 kilos, so it's absolutely ridiculous. Today, we've gone with 55 litre North Face bag, and I've had to reduce some of the stuff I would usually take. Why do we do these silly camera shots? We have to walk back. So we've been out hiking for about, not long now, 45 minutes, but there is a lot of elevation. So really trying to get up as high as we can onto the North Downs, head along to the Holly Hill area, where I believe we can then make our way down to the lost village of Dode. This is actually tough going, and I've got too many layers on. I was in this area before and I found this perfect place for wild camping, and like a bit of a plonker, I didn't mark it on Garmin Explore. Instead, I thought it's quite easy to find. I'll stumble upon it again. Can I find that area again? Definitely not. Maybe on the way back. The plan is make our way towards Holly Hill, a place which I know pretty well, but then we will go off on a different route and get down to the lost village of Dode, somewhere that I've never actually been. It's very late October, so you'd have expected it to be colder than what it is. I put way too many layers on. Getting up to the elevation that I have has taken its toll. Definitely too many layers. Very, very hot. But let's crack on. Let's move towards Holly Hill and then down to the lost village of Dode. It looks like some little squirrel or animal has used this stump as a little bit of a picnic table. So it's taken about an hour and a half, but I think we have reached the lost village of Dode. Let's have a look. So we can see here that the old village, or the old church, has actually now been purchased and converted into something that looks pretty beautiful, to be fair. So here we can see the old church of the lost village of Dode, and this tiny little village in the middle of nowhere in the Kent countryside had people living it at times of the Roman Empire, and the church was built in the reign of William II. Now, this little village in the 14th century was nearly wiped out by the Black Plague, and just through the trees down the bottom there you can see these incredible structures built into the hill. Now, the lost village of Dode has a legend that accompanies it. Needless to say, I won't be wild camping anywhere near here. Legend has it that the last surviving person in the village when the Black Plague wiped everyone out was a 7-year-old girl, also known as the Dode Child. Now, as legend would have it, the Dode Child, the 7-year-old girl, took refuge in the walls of that church when she was the last person left in the village wiped out by the Black Plague, until she finally passed away within the walls. And it is now said that on the first Sunday of every month, the Dode Child will appear in the cemetery of the church. So needless to say, I will not be hanging around here or wild camping anywhere near here. Okay, we need to head off. It's getting darker earlier, it's 3 o'clock. Realistically, I've got an hour and a half left of light. We need to head back up onto the North Downs and find somewhere where we're going to bed down for the night. Now, this looks like one mighty tree. If you know what this is, leave a comment below. Let me know what type of tree that is. So it might not look like it because the iPhones are quite good, but light is really going now. So I'm pushing to get to an area where I'm going to be wild camping for the night. And my actual first ever wild camp was just over there in a bright blue tent. So yeah. Okay, so we lost the light, but good news, I set up camp. So found a safe spot. I know the area quite well. Annoyingly, I've got some pylons buzzing above me, but I'm sure I can put up with that noise. Got some water on the go ready for a brew, but to be fair, just happy to have set up camp and now settled down for the dark. So tonight I actually brought gas out with me. I've not done it for a while, and I saw it and I saw the little burner and thought, happy days, you'll get your coffee quicker. Okay, just to give you guys a quick look at my setup. Obviously, we've got a quick ridge line up there, and the DD 3.5 by 3.5 tarp has come up. Thanks to Greencraft and these jungle toggles, everything goes together a lot easier. Walking poles holding up the edges like that, and then it goes down to the floor on the other side. Oh, just noticed I put my coat up there. Lucky I saw that. Underneath the tarp, quite high. Obviously you've got to bend down a little bit to get in, but we've got the OEX Fox 2 version 2 set up underneath the tarp, ridgeline running underneath this time. And for dinner tonight we have egg fried rice and peri peri chicken, chocolate pudding and custard. So I'm gonna get dinner on the go. I believe my water is boiling. Happy days. Cup of coffee time. Coffee, we have, you know, the green triangle that is in the Quality Street. This is the Nescafe coffee green triangle. Okay, so I'm just about to test the Nescafe green triangle hot drink in these silicone mugs that are £3 from Go Outdoors. They are the best thing in the world. Weigh next to nothing. They're £3, save loads of space. Incredible. Let's give it a go. I'll try it again. I got mostly foam. It's very hot. Not bad. I expected more. I am going to get my dinner on the go. Peri peri chicken, egg fried rice. Let's get that done so then we can snuggle down, put on some Last Kingdom and enjoy my night in the woods in this tent. So I think this is an ingenious little way of setting up, because I haven't got a table or anything like that, but just moving my windshield so I've got a rest for my spork thing, and then making a little square there for my Nescafe coffee. Ingenious. Next up we have pudding, and if you can see that, that is a big chocolate pudding in custard. Very lumpy custard, but it does taste good. And the balaclava's had to come out because it's getting pretty cold, but I am just about to enjoy my pudding. The time is 6:36 and it is time for pudding. So how's it been? So the walk was really good. Enjoyed going to the lost village of Dode. It's definitely somewhere I'd recommend people to go and check it out, but I don't be thinking that you can just go in there now. Unfortunately, I think this site, or this old historic site, as it's now been bought and converted, I believe people get married there and things like that. Or maybe finding out if they do times where people are allowed to go in and view the site. I'm not sure if that's something they do. It would be a shame if they didn't do that with something of such historical value. Anyway, so I'm going to finish my pudding and in not too long, get settled down inside the tent and enjoy the rest of the evening. So I think one of the mistakes that I made when I was out was putting too many layers on and then getting hot and sweaty. And then really when the evening starts to chill down, you start to feel the cold even if it's not cold. I mean, it's showing about 11 degrees at the minute. With it being 11 degrees, in theory, I shouldn't be cold, but I am. So had to go out, walk a little bit just to warm up. And here we are, rocking back up. I like to call this fox camp. You can see all these branches that would have come down in the storm. So Storm Bert recently. So my goodness, you do not want that falling on your tent. So again, very, very important to be looking up and checking anywhere before you camp, because setting up something there and having something like that fall on you, not great. Which is why on my most recent video of camping in Storm Bert, because I'm not as experienced as others, I made sure I was with a super experienced person, and then thank goodness everything went well. Just check these. There's not a lot of wind, which is good. And these jungle toggles have been absolutely fantastic. What a great little hack from Greencraft. Okay, so I'm gonna finish the washing up and then get in the tent, get some light and get my head down after a bit of a wash. So I think there's a couple of things to consider after today's hike and so far the wild camp. I've got the imprint of my hat on my head. Look, I think one thing anyone should consider if they're out hiking and then wild camping is the amount of exercise and how hot you're going to get by doing whatever hike that may be. So for me, there was a lot of elevation today and it was quite a strenuous hike. And in turn, this means I need more fluids and I had to take on more. So the amount of water that I've brought with me today is clearly not enough. But I guess all of these things really just come down to planning. You know, planning. Where are you going to go? How long is it going to take you? What is the hike like? How hard is it going to be? You know, what time does the sun go down? And how are you going to get to camp? Like, how much time are you going to give yourself to set up? Okay, good morning. So 7 o'clock in the morning. Turns out I got 7 hours and 50 minutes sleep, which is, yeah, sometimes better than I'd get at home. This morning on the menu, we have Quaker, these little porridge bags. This is banana flavour. Yeah, I'm a big, big fan. So I popped 2 of these into my water. And I put these on a nice soft simmer over the gas. A bit of a stir up. But let's pop that up there. And bring that down. Lovely. I think this is probably one of my favourite times of a wild camp or any type of camp. And it's that morning where hopefully the rest of the world are asleep within the 4 walls. But I'm out here, the tent's open. I can feel a breeze, but still warm in the sleeping bag, breakfast on the go. And sometimes just sitting here in silence, hoping to catch a glimpse of wildlife. Because you're always guaranteed to get wildlife. It might be the little spider that's crawling up the outside of the tent, hearing the birds kicking off in the morning. A lot of the times you'll see the odd squirrel nipping up and about as soon as the sun comes up. You could get lucky and see a deer. Now, unfortunately, I've never seen a deer, but a lot of wild campers have. It's interesting to know, actually. So if you are a wild camper and if you go out and about like this, what animal or wildlife have you seen when you've been out on your little adventure that has kind of taken you by surprise, or an animal that you wouldn't have otherwise seen unless you were out on your camp? Okay, so super happy with last night's camp. It is a lovely morning up on the North Downs Way. Time to get packed up and head off. Everything down and packed away. Finally, let's just sort those leaves out. Happy days, definitely leaving no trace there. So that's me, we are out of here, unfortunately. It'd be nice to do multi-days, but due to work and family commitments, I can usually only get the 1 night out at the minute. Hopefully, that'll change in the future. So this is the Beard in the Wild channel. This was a video about a trek to the lost village of Dode and a wild camp. Thanks for watching.